Thank you so much for joining us. This is Dr. Stella here, your presenter for today. Today, we are going to talk about personalities. Personalities. It's a subject which is very controversial. And as many of you have realized that in the group, there were some people who are like, oh my goodness, I don't want to know anything about this. It's paganism. I don't want to know anything about my personality. Please leave me alone. And so I got more excited about this topic because that's what I do every day. I interact with people. We have different perspectives, and I help them understand. They need to understand certain things to become better people. That's what we are here about. So my background, yes, I am 53 years old. There's quite a few people who are saying they're under 40. I'm exactly 53. I am a mother of 4. My oldest is 33. And so, which means I had a child at 20, if you can do the math. And then I have a 28-year-old who just say 28, and he's 7 foot tall, 6'7", almost 7 foot tall, taller than I am. If you go on my Facebook, you see him. He just had a birthday. That's our second son. Then I have a 22-year-old, and then I have a 20-year-old daughter. So why is this relevant? There are certain things I share in my presentations which will help someone here connect the dots. And you know what I mean by connect the dots. If religion and spirituality was the key to living a balanced life, why are Adventists depressed? Why are Christians fighting? Why are Christians getting divorced? And why are pastors cheating on their wives? And why are elders leaving their wives for girlfriend? And why is this happening? So you are hearing from a presenter who's been curious all my life. I literally have been curious for as long as I've lived my life. What made me curious in the beginning was the fact that, and I think I shared this in my previous presentations. When I was a young girl, growing up in Africa, in the country of Zimbabwe, they often cut my hair. You know how they do in Africa, they shave your hair off and you look like a boy, right? You can't tell the difference between girls and boys, especially if they haven't developed their breasts and they're wearing the same color of blue. You all look like boys. So I was one of those victims of tradition of shaving girls' hair when I was growing up. I didn't like it. I did not like the fact that my hair got shaved off. However, I noticed something. Every time they shave it, it came out. So I became curious. I'm like, there's a power which makes things happen somewhere. And nobody ever told me why my hair came out. So I became a good student of physics, biology, chemistry, and mathematics. You talk about those subjects, I got 100%. Because I realized these are concepts. So just because I learned calculus doesn't mean that I have calculus in my body. I learned at a very young age to separate my emotions from facts. So I will explain this later on because there are some people who are in this room or who are in the group who are really like not happy with me because I'm talking about personalities. But I can tell you this: if every single one of us here today could understand who we are, we can connect with others better. Conflict becomes less when I understand how another person is thinking, reasoning, processing, and responding to what I say. You might not agree with me now, but if you're in your 40s, don't wait until you're 53. Because I work with women who are in their 60s. They're like, oh, my husband is leaving me. I'm like, let me hear your story again. When was the last time you really had a conversation? Oh, my husband and I don't talk. Why is it that your husband and you don't talk? Well, he says I talk too much. I'm like, do you talk too much? So it's a perception. I mean, somebody could literally say, Dr. Stella talks too much. And I own it. I do talk when it's time to talk. But on a given day, I'm very quiet. I don't talk as much as you all see. But I'm at a place where I have to talk. So depending on your personality, you could easily get annoyed with me because I'm saying things you don't like. And that's just part of life. So I just wanted to share this part initially before we really start, and I'll stop this recording so I can really just go into the presentation. All I can let you know is that when we begin to understand who we are and we begin to understand those around us with a better perspective, the fact that every single person has a brain, and this brain receives information, processes information, makes decisions, and makes a choice to express themselves. And that's what we do every day. That's literally. And so as a young girl growing up, I made a lot of observations. And these observations range from people who were fighting, to people who were happy to see each other, to people who were not agreeing with each other. I did a lot of observations. I didn't say much about it, but I learned from it. So I discovered now over the years, with time, as I became a professional, became a professor, that when individuals don't know who they are, they can't learn. They don't learn efficiently. They might take a little longer to learn things because they don't know how they learn in the first place. So I use some of what I share with you in these presentations to help people succeed. I was able to educate people who are coming from construction to become a physical therapist assistant in 18 months, to know every single thing about the human body function and how to treat the human body and how to pass an examination at a federal level, which is a standardized examination the first time they took it, because those individuals became students. So in order for us to do better in life, we need to become students. And so don't let your past experience or your perception of things stand in the way of your learning, because you might learn a little later on in life about what other people are like, because not single two people are alike. So I just thought I would say that. So today we'll talk a little bit about personalities, but I'm one of those people who believe that it has to have meaning. So I'm going to talk to you about stress first, because stress is right at somebody's door as I'm speaking to you right now. They're trying to de-stress, eustress, and get away with, from this place of being stressed. If you understood your personality a little more, might help you cope with some of the stresses which are attacking you as I speak, or yesterday, tomorrow, or the day after, or 10 or 20 or 30 years from now. That's what I have to say, and I'll stop this recording at this point and take your questions.